So I've been messing around, like trying to see if I can still get the new game class, and when I went to load game, I've noticed that now I have this file free with everything upgraded, ridiculous amount of money, only 13 of the pages, but what is this then? Is this like the new game class, or is this something specific? I haven't opened it yet because I wanted to do it on the recorded bit. I know this was shown in the instructions a bit. So here when we look at data management page, it does show this, yes, what this is secret information, but obviously still can't read, although I might be getting closer to starting to figure out based on that instruction page, but I haven't yet spent enough time to proper account for it and transcribe everything. But yes, don't know what it means, but let's see when we load this file what happens. Okay, where are we? It's some sort of different fox in some sort of different... Oh wait, it's a fox on a golden path. Okay, so we start here and we have a straight line up and down. Let me just make a page for it. And yeah, then we go up. There is a corner, some pots. I guess we can break the pots to see if we've been somewhere. And more corners. A junction, unexpected, since normally the path cannot be crossing, or I've not seen them cross. Oh, it's not a junction. It's one of those lines that says, you know, count this as 2 instructions. Okay, so we've got that. We've got another corners here. And then here. Hopefully the pots are not important. I wouldn't think they would be considered. We can break them. Okay. So did that take us to back to start? Now we go down. Or is this the entire thing? Okay, so do I just enter it while I'm in here? Or do I have to go up to the other save and enter it there? Is it a clue for that page with the golden path? It doesn't seem to do anything here. Okay, well, nothing seems to happen if I enter this here. So I might have to go back to my normal save and use it there. Okay, well, I guess go to title screen and then load my normal game. Or actually, I didn't check out the menu in that game because I was like, oh, we don't have all of the items. So let's just quickly go back. Interesting, we have 1 coin and we have a couple of the coasters. I'm not sure if that means anything. Maybe not. Well, let's take this knowledge with us and see what else I can find in my normal save. Yeah, so another thing I did is turn on the music puzzle assistance option. Because I was like, I think this is a music puzzle, and I was talking about this and the forks and how I'm not good at tone things because like it's hard for me to tell like different notes apart. And yes, now there are actual notes coming out of the wind chime, which obviously makes it a bit more obvious that there's a puzzle, but I only turned it after I was like, I think this is a music puzzle, but I can't tell the sounds apart. But looking at the notes, I realized that they look like the notes we can see in one of the instructions, which is here. The ones that you can zoom in this map. So we get those notes here linked to northeast, west, and south. So I think it's basically going to be, we do the spell using the directions linked to the notes. So more writing things down as I stand here and look at the notes coming out of the wind chime. So yeah, even like looking at the notes that are coming out of it and listening to the sounds coming out of the wind chime, I have no idea how was I supposed to get that, because I mean, maybe if you're musically trained, like you can distinguish those things, but absolutely not for me. But yeah, now if we look at this, we can see that yes, there's 4 different notes here, like the same matching what was in the thing, so we can translate the pattern to directions, which we can then enter as the golden cross puzzle. Okay, so what I've got is up, down, right, up, down, left, up, left, right, down, left, right, up. No. Okay, let's try this again then. Okay, so I assume that was the whole pattern. And then it goes... Yeah, I think I made one mistake previously. So we've got up, down, right, up, down, left, right, down, left, right, up. Yep. And I've got an up arrow, power up. Okay, so now that I've done this, do I enter the code from the other level save here? No, doesn't do anything. Well, my other thought about this is that it's somehow a hint for this, maybe. So it would be like we go to 12, then 16, then 28, 9, 40, 31, 55, 4 on this grid. But then what would be the numbers for, right? Like if it was just solved by the other path, why would there be numbers here? What would it mean? Because another thing we have with numbers is this note here about the secrets. I think it links to the room where we keep all of those treasures we have from the chests, because they have some sort of numbers attached to them. And this seems to, I think, mention the golden path because the text is gold. But this is also where the clues are for the language, which I think is the final definitive clue, probably, like how to do the language. It interestingly has 44 characters, which means it doesn't map directly to letters. So that's an interesting twist on the thing, because I thought it would be just letters, and then the various shapes are combinations of two things. So yeah, that all has to come together in some way. I do have an upgrade to donate, but I don't have the money because I have to find some monsters to fight, because in this version there aren't a lot of monsters, like in this world state. I was like, oh, there's like, the various donations here next to the bed, but also A on the bed. We can sleep? I've slept. Oh wait, the world is normal now? It was all a dream? We were having a bad nightmare about the world being weird. So I went through all of that. Oh, I'll fight the boss because that will get me the world to normal. And all I had to do was go to bed. Okay, well, that solves some of my problems, because yes, there are things I was blocked from doing because the world was in a state. So hey, that unlocks new doors, or old doors that were taken away from us. Well, before I go there, because I was like, oh, I can just teleport to the atoll. But there was the cave on the beach I couldn't go to. Okay, so this ladder is now back here, which means I can go down and I can enter here. And yes, in here we get this spinny maze, which means I have to track it as it spins and write it down, and then that will form a spell for my collection. Something that I'm trying to spin my notebook to match the orientation on the thing on the wall, but we'll see if it works. So what I've got is down, right, up, right, down, left, down, right, down, left, up, left, down, right. Okay. Oh. That worked. Another fairy to my collection. So there's still that one place I need to figure out with the 3 flowers, because that's where the fairy says there is something. I wonder if it's different, like when the world is in a different state, or do the puzzles not change? So yeah, okay, it's down here, it's still 3 flowers and a statue. Yeah, they say there is a thing here, but I'm not seeing what the thing is. Okay, well, I think it's finally time to go back to the atoll and see that one ladder I missed, because it's been so many episodes since that has actually happened, and since then I've not been able to go back. Okay, so the atoll is here. And then when I go this side. There is a ladder here. Like the prompt comes up. Okay, but all it does is take me down to this bird. Like I've been here before. I mean, I know there's something with the birds potentially. Well, I don't know. I think there might be something with the birds. Because on this page, it has the bird going on next to the thing. Which I originally thought was something to do with the notes as well. Which it might still be to do with the notes, but now I'm not entirely sure. So like, not quite. Because yeah, I'm not sure that the bird makes any sort of path for me to follow. I don't know, because that's crazy. Okay, nothing here with the fairies, because they just got all over the place. So at least the fairies don't think there's anything to do here. Ah, it's a turret! Okay, that actually brings us back to the original area. So yeah, it turns out all that time I was thinking about going back to this ladder wasn't a particularly big secret here. Unless I'm missing something again. It just seems like it just goes up and down, okay? Unless there's a secret on the other side. Can I go behind this? No. Oh well, that's fine. Is there anything here? Do the fairies say anything? No, the fairies say no. There's also a little cave by the staircase on this side, so I'm not sure if I've been there. Yep, secret tunnel. Where does it take us? Behind this thing. Okay, so it's just a shortcut, but nothing specific here, other than what we've done already. By getting that money so I can apply my upgrades. This is now covered in the miasma. Yeah, you birds, what secrets do you hide? Is that chest here I haven't done yet? I can just hop up on this. Another effigy. Okay, well, I should have enough money for donation of that one thing I found. There we go. No, not yet. Okay, well, I can break the effigy and then I'll for sure have enough money. Yep, there we go. More health. Even more health. Always need more health. So yes, I think now I know that the top level for health or everything is 8. So I'm still missing a bunch of the donations then. Because yeah, some of my things are only level 3. I mean, I'm only assuming that based on the fact that I was in that secret save, but doesn't have to mean that's the absolute truth. Where else should I revisit? Checking the eastern vault for fairies. And nothing on the interior, but let's check the exterior. Any fairies? Yep, over there. Like, they're just not paying attention to me. Okay, so fairies here, specifically here, or just in this room. But they tend to be fairly accurate as to where. Okay, so here I get like a overlook camera. Is it candles again? Okay, so if I stand here, is it right, left, down, right, up, left? Yes. Now it's gonna be giving me like, oh, there are objects arranged by numbers on different sides of things. Any more fairies here? That sounds like undecided fairies. Okay, well, let's go outside and see if there's any more there. That sounds like potentially no. Well, let's just get out of here. So let's go to another area then. Might be worth it checking the East Forest again, now that it's not blocked off by things. See if there's anything there. And nothing specifically here. Okay, something up there then. Just need to find my way. Yeah, how do I get on top of that? I have to get on top of everything else first. Yeah, through here. Now there's a door there, so maybe if I go inside this building and I can come out of it to that side. Oh yeah, I think it was like through here and there's a door. Yep. Okay, so let's just check that this is correct. Okay, they're saying here. Yeah, this kind of feels like the one with the 3 flowers in the overworld where I'm like, It's pointing to something, but I don't know. So I may just mark it on my map and then come back to it later. Really enough, I don't have the map for the East Forest yet at all. I just kind of put it next to the overworld so I remember there's something here. Okay, anything else on this side? Okay, they're going there, but they're probably just going to the same thing. So I may just go towards Hero's Grave, see if they indicate anything there, and if not, take a look at other things. Okay, nothing by Hero's Grave, because they're just scattered. Okay, here they're pointing to the broken obelisk, but I don't think I just have all the pieces for that yet. Okay, what other areas can I revisit? I guess there's the quarry, the swamp, anything else? I don't think so. I mean, there's a bunch of the undergrounds as well, like the well and stuff like that. So I can give them a look as well. I want to see if I can go to the swamp during the day, or is this only accessible when we're in the other version of the world? Because yeah, this is broken off, but I can use my zap to cross. Oh yeah, only ghosts are allowed on the inside, so I'm not sure I will be allowed. We'll see. Maybe with zapping I can go anywhere I want. They can't stop me. Or can I? I somehow remember being stuck on this pillar before. Oh, there are different enemies here now. Oh yes, the door is boarded up, but I can just maybe go around and yeah, come down here. So, you know, you can't stop me, even if I'm not a ghost. I know, I might just be stuck on the areas that are accessible like this. But I may not be able to like visit the area proper. If I'm not a ghost, I can kind of sneak around, but not truly. Well, I may have to go to bed again and see if that will let me revisit the area, just in case there's anything there. Because I think this was another place where the fairies indicated. Like they're all going here, but I'm not seeing what this is as well. Okay, let's see if this will turn me so that I can return. Although I am corporeal now, so even though it's nighttime and that world is different, that still may not mean I am allowed back in the swamp. Oh, as I'm zooming past here, I see another piece of the golden door, golden obelisk, whatever I'm gonna be calling that. Let's see if that helps me complete the set. Because I think it fits in there. No, of course, but they put lots of turns into this one, so you couldn't like guess what it was if you didn't have the piece. So let's see if I can work this out. So we have that diamond, then it goes down this way, then down, down, then up. And then on this new piece it goes like this. And then the top and like this. Okay, so now we just need to go, well, we're just gonna have to return to the East Forest for that, but I wanna just take a, okay, so this is open if I'm not a ghost, just as long as it's nighttime, I guess. So let's just run a quick fairy check. No, the fairies seem to think there is nothing here. In that case, let's just get back to the East Forest and do this obelisk then. Okay, so what I got is down, right, down, left, up, left, down, left, up, right, up, left, up, right, up, right, up, left, up, right, down, right, down, right, down, left, down, right, down, left, up. There we go. And we've got another chest, and we've got another fairy. So yes, there's still a few more of those because there's the indications, but I just don't know quite how to solve those few right now. Okay, so I've been staring at the instructions some more, and what it says on this clue is dagger plus wand in parenthesis plus the magic orb. So now I'm like, is there some secret magic that if you do them together, like mash the buttons? So I am here to try it out and see what buttons are those. This. Oh! I could have been doing this the entire time. So every time I was like, oh, my dagger missed. the freezing things. I could have just been like using auto aim with the. I mean, yes, it uses magic, but this game. Absolutely mind-blowing things. I've got a crown. Well, that was a tricky one to solve. Like, I have spent more time than I'm willing to admit just trying a variety of things there. But clearly, I should have just read the instructions. Oh. I've unlocked something, so after I've added a specific number of treasures, this is now a thing I've been transported to. And I'm already like, there are those flowers on the floor. Yes, because what is this about? I mean, again, it might be about the numbers that it showed us next to the circle on the instructions. This, although it feels more like the room, because the room has the entrance and then it has the things around. Well, this it's fully surrounded. So yeah, I'm just giving those flowers a look, but they don't fully look like they would align for a spell. What is this? What? Okay, so I mean, it's the language, but what does it tell me about the language? That it's kind of three-dimensional, because I mean, my original thinking was like, yes, the language is made out of cubes, and then is then kind of made flat. But so like this makes a character like, are those specific words I need to understand? Is this character? I think I've seen it. I know it was similar character but without the bit at the top. But yes, does it mean like the characters have some additional properties I need to understand here, or is this purely based on me understanding what those characters stand for, and then I will be able to read something? So I think this takes me even further towards I need to understand the language. I have made an attempt at understanding the language of Tunic. Based on the memos on page 54 of the instructions, we can actually see what the characters of the language are. And I mean, I assume those are all of the characters. And it shows us what I assume are two basic words to be able to work from. One of them is fox and one of them is sword. Now, one of the things the instructions are trying to indicate is that the final character of fox is also used in sword, which spelling it in English normally would not work. But I think it might indicate that this is more sound-based than spelling-based, and which would make sense because the character count for the language appears to be 44, which is way longer than just the English alphabet is. So if we basically end up spelling things more phonetically, things may match between the two words that we are working with. Another thing it shows us is that two characters can be combined to produce one glyph, I would see. So if we look at the characters that are in the chart, they basically have two distinct ways they're formed. One are like outer shapes, which are drawn along and basically an elongated hexagonal shape. And then there are sort of inner characters where it would be lines connecting the inside of those hexagons. And so we can combine the inner and an outer character to form one glyph, but they're still read separately. So it's showing us that yes, the first glyph in Fox is actually F and O put together, and then sword also has a combined character. Now, since the W in sword is not pronounced, I assume the character there is just the sound for or, and then the last letter is D. So we can start seeing some of the sounds, I guess, that are used in the language just from this blue here. But going from there, obviously all we have to go on is we're gonna have to find words, phrases that we can translate and learn new things with. One of those things is the compass we see in one of the instruction pages. changes for the atoll, where obviously we already know this is supposed to be north, east, southwest. Now, the interesting part that comes out of it is that the language is somewhat loose with some of the word sounds, because when we look at stuff like north, we can see that there is the same character used here as in sword, so the middle sound or. But what we get is therefore is that there is n and or. It's nor. It doesn't actually spell north. So we can't even count on each of the words being like the complete pronunciation of the English word. It's like an approximation of the English word, which is just great. But yeah, we can work from there to again get west, which once again seems to be shortened to maybe like weh sound, since yeah, unlikely this is going to be the whole est sound. And south again, we have the character for s, which we already know from sword and fox, and then something that will account for like auf, or some approximation of that could just be au if the north pattern persists. And then the interesting one is the east, because so far what we've seen is that the inner character always goes first. So if we have two characters put together, we do the inner character first and then the outer character second. But for east, that would mean we get an S, because we already know it's an S, and then an E. So what is actually useful here is that there is another page in the manual which sort of alludes to this situation and specifically points out the function of the little circle at the bottom, where it shows that when there's a circle, the things are swapping around. So I take it as the order of the characters in Mangler changes. So we get an ease, because again, the sound appears to just be an approximation. Now, there is an actual official phonetic chart for English, so it might be useful for this, but looking at it, the counts of the vowel sounds and the consonant sounds are not quite a match to this chart, so there might be some differentiation or different system was used. Now, the next interesting thing is the text that I've seen in gold around. I think it's related to this golden path thing. So I think that can help us translate things some more and decipher more characters. Now the first set of characters there, which is the two kind of up arrows, one on top of the other. I've already previously wondered that thought that it may stand for D, because of just the way it appears in the text would functionally work where D is in English usually. Another function of the language, I think that often there is a horizontal line seen across the characters, and I think that basically denotes where a word is, right? So all characters joined by a single horizontal line are part of the same word, and that also helps us to understand where things might be going in terms of deciphering the word, because I think we're just going to be using the letters we know or the context we know to then figure out what the letters we don't know are in the same set of words. So yeah, where we get to the golden path, like as I said, I think the two arrows are just D, and then we can break down the remainder of the words, which there are two, again, works with the golden path, and using the letter we know, the D and the N for golden seem to be in the right location. So then we can basically just make a bold assumption that the rest of the sounds are what we would want for golden path. We see that in path the final character is a sort of a form of TH. We already have TH from D, but looking at the phonetic chart, there are two distinct sounds that correspond to TH depending on the use. I am not a native English user, and obviously not all of my pronunciation is always the best, so I believe it where it says that you can have the sound between different words. Once assuming the golden path is the golden path, that unlocked a few new characters for me in the letter collection, which I can then use for additional words. So from there, it was just like looking at more of the instruction pages and figuring yes, what is a good page that has enough context to it where I think I could look at the words and again make more guesses about what it is and hope that it will be what it needs to be. And so we have the instruction pages about data management and beginning your adventures. I thought again that some of the text here might make sense, like saying things about saving and loading and stuff like that, like normal words that are not connected to the universe of the game, so I don't have to know names for things that I may not be able to understand without the details from the game. And from that, I've been able to deduce that one of the words around the description for load game is telling us to go to save data screen, so that unlocked a couple new characters for me. Then we have the text next to the gold diamond, which we know in the game it's money, and if we follow the phonetic sounds used in the words we found so far, it does come to something like money, which sounds close enough for me. I think that spells money. We have the sentence around the fox wondering about the secret save file. So I think the final word there could be something like these. On page 10, we have this thing where I said, I think there could be a word for map here previously, because it tells you to go to page 28 and the map is there. So if we break this one down, we can put it together and it says LS and then C. So I think that one might be saying lost, and C page 28 for a map. So again, more character added to the chart, and that helps us go back over some other things I was trying to decipher at the characters there, and again make more assumptions, because now we can think like, oh, it could be saying something like go to save data screen, right? Another part we have is the instructions from the start of the game, where it tells us to go to the east and west bells, and next to the location we have some descriptions that are in the language. So, for example, next to the old house, we get from the characters we already have, we're able to see that it says, well, need a key, which, well, we can translate as we'll need a key. And so the first two characters might stand for you, right? This is saying you will need a key to get to the old house. Next, for the dark tomb, again, we get some first words starting with D, and then once again the word for need, A, and something, which I think it starts for light, because, that would make sense in the context. Again, we're taking the context and we're trying to work out what any of this means. One challenge that there is with kind of deciphering it often is that the way the words are written, the characters can be touching each other, so you have to figure out that sometimes there would be an outer character from the previous or next glyph touching the inner character from a different glyph, so they all look like they're together, but actually this is two separate characters, so make sure not to miss it. But yes, in the end, this is sections like this is dark, you need a light, right? That makes sense. And once again, we can add those things to the character chart. For the East Forest, we get something like enter the W something D something. Not quite sure what sort of, wilds could be an option here, but I wasn't quite sure at that point what it could be. So for the heroes' graves, we get a symbol for sword. That's not part of the alphabet. It's just a picture to help us. Then something lie at the ground. Again, this is just my assumptions from the characters that are there and what the possibilities are. And like looking at the phonetic chart, trying to see like, okay, is that a sound that's distinct from all the other sounds? And after doing that, I can go back to some of the other things again. Next to the load data instructions, we get something that says load file and resume play. And again, it's almost like a puzzle in itself, on top of like figure out what the sounds the characters are. Then you have to take the sounds and be like, okay, what is actually the word we are saying here? Because yes, it's resume. What does that sound like? Because the Z, even though I've spelled a Z, actually it's making an S sound a lot of the time here. Yeah, is spelled E DZZ is. He's going, what is this, right? Because that's the secret save file that appears in our file management. For the guard captain, I was able to figure out that I think it says powerful foe, and then some of the further words, again, it gets into the tricky situation where the different glyphs are sometimes blending into each other, so you have to go in, get in there, zoom in, figure out like what is the inner character and what is the outer character, where does the outer character, is it part of the first glyph, is it part of the second glyph? Like there are some rules there where the outer characters never have just the right side filled, so you know that if there's a line on the right side, it must be from the next glyph, not from this glyph, because there isn't anything there. So there are some rules that can help you, but yes, after the powerful foe, the next words were still not clear to me because I've matched it up to the letters I had, but it didn't really seem make too much sense to me. Going back to the fox that helped us with what does the dot means, I think is basically saying I'm stuck, which makes sense because that was on like hints page or something like that. We can go onto the page explaining what I've been calling the coasters, and turns out that much more boringly, they're just called cards, but I'm gonna stick with, no, they're called coasters. The description for the Cyan Peril Ring explains what I've assumed about it, which is that it raises defense when you are in peril. So I assume when your health is low, it raises your defense. We have the title for the instructions with the wells and coins, and it literally does sells wells and coins, spelled with a K and oi. I think the description for inverted R says that potion restore your magic points instead of your HP. I mean, I could just go into the game and check it, but just going through the language, I think that's what it is, although I'm not sure what sort of word is quaffed. Like maybe craft, but then why craft potions? Not quite sure on that one yet. Of course, we have this golden path page, which has some text at the bottom. So what it says there, it's the golden path, the greatest spell. So not an instruction, really, just indication that it is a spell. And obviously we cast the spells through use of the golden cross, which is just the D-pad or the arrow keys. So that's really all that's implying. I will get a little bit more into what I think the golden path is later once we're done with the language explanations. Now, another thing I did try to look at was the checklist for where to find all of the fairies, but I was actually struggling to make much sense of it. I know like the first two items are saying flowers 1 and flowers 2, but a lot of the other ones, it almost made words, but it didn't, like poems, rosticlet, and maze. Maze makes sense. There's 2 entries that say maze, and then in the parentheses it tries to specify something, but it didn't really explain anything to me. I could not work out what the word was supposed to be. Like one of them seemed to literally be saying patrol. Again, it makes sense as a word, but not quite sure what sort of clue it is. And this next one appears to be maybe saying cube, but what cube? Where is this cube? Not sure. And yes, another maze. And then at the end it says fountain, which that makes sense because we did find a fairy spell at the fountain using some of the stuff there. So with that in mind, well, I think it's possible to decipher this language we've shown that it's possible to decipher this language. It is possible to decipher this language and it's possible to read all of the instructions. It is hard. It's hard because even if you know all of the symbols, you still have to get creative being like, what word does it make with all of those sounds? So I might be spending more time on this as I'm trying to decipher things, and I think there's a clue somewhere, like something is pointing me to me, but I don't think I'm going to be doing an entire reading of like all of the lore pages because yes, it's going to be time consuming and it's going to be hard to do, and especially because yes, again, I'm not native English speaker, so sometimes the distinction between the sounds is a bit obscure to me. It was a fun puzzle to do this and it was fun puzzle to look at it, but yeah, I think it's it's effort to actually read this language, and especially longer sentences and longer descriptions, because it's not a straightforward thing. But yeah, I hope you at least enjoyed this explanation of like how I started to decipher it and where did it take me. Let me know in the comments what you think about all of this and how far I've gotten with it. And if you enjoy my content, consider liking or subscribing. And I will see you soon on another adventure.